Everybody, and I hope you are having a good day. And today we are going to look at another aspect, which is actually defense. Now, in this position, why the black king is actually exposed, but there's no real way of getting to it. So now, in this position, white, all knowing, clever, decided to capture the knight, hoping to open up lines. As this does nothing, now he got too ambitious and sacrificed the rook. Now, I want you to pause the video in this position and find out what do you think is black's plan and how can you counter it. First of all, the king is on check, and the moment this queen captures, she is now aligned with the king, which you can just slide your rook, to the g5 and pin the queen to the king. But this is not useful as you can just block with your bishop, and if white tries to put pressure, let's say with a move like this, you can simply play this and you are good to go. Now in this second sample, you will notice that one of the things with lower rated players are they see a check and they just want to give it. No follow up, nothing. Sit down and watch or calculate what will my opponent do. You just see a check and you just jump at it to feel feel like they are dictating the game. So now in this position, white played queen to a4. Now this is actually seems like a good move, but it's not, because white's position is actually crumbling. The knight is hanging and the queen will actually be attacked. So you must capture back. You get, and when you capture back, the idea is not to give a check as you have lost most of your advantage, but to capture the knight with a check. And when this happens, the bishop is forced to block. The bishop is forced to block, now creating a threat of capturing the knight with the queen. Now you attack the bishop, and after all this, you can see that it's actually white that is fighting to equalize, and even at then, white cannot really equalize as there are too much threats in his position. Notice how you can't push this pawn, because the moment you push this pawn, this bishop is pinned to this pawn on g2 and you're going to have a hard time developing. Over to the next sample. At first glance, it seems that white just mouth slipped and moved his rook there, because I don't see any purpose with this move. Now I think that the only idea he has was to double up his rooks and try and win this bishop. Now this doesn't work, as black can simply ignore it and play queen to g6, and he must be forced to defend. Then you can notice that now that he has defended, this queen is trapped, and you know you lose your queen for your rook. Now I can assure you that at the end of this video that you start seeing your chess games from a different point of view. That's if you have not already started seeing it from that point of view. Now this is defense, but this is defense in the end game. As you can see that white has the advantage, you get, but he has to play it out, which obviously um every average player should be able to do this. And you can see that the threat is to play a4, giving a check and winning the opposition. Now since the king has played b6, there is no need to give that check again. You can just move on with your king and restrict his own king. Now he must run out of moves, and all in all, white is winning. Can you finish this from here? This is a team of defense, but at this position, it seems like it's a team of hopelessness. As you can see that white gave a check with the knight and black captured. Now this position seems very lost, as white king can capture back, and the only option is to come up with this amazing trick. If you get too greedy and capture the queen, boom, your you lose the game, because black will play b rook to b1 checkmate. So in this position, you must come up with a kind of a logical plan. You must come up with a logical plan, to counteract black's trick, and that is none other move but moving your king to f1. And in this position, you can notice that it's not a much that you must give up your queen, as you can just play rook to b1 and white to capture, and you are honestly safe for the moment. At least after playing this, you are safe for some time. But although the engine prefers you go here. Well, that is that for that. Over to the next. Okay, in this position, white played rook to c5, and skewering the knight and the queen and the knight, and black thought within itself, why don't I just grab the a2 pawn, and in the moment white captures my knight on g5, I'll swap it for his own knight on a2. But he forgot that there's this check that comes into play with the pawn, and the king has nowhere else to go but to capture the pawn, and the moment he does that, you can capture the knight with a check, and your king must come up, because if your king goes back, then obviously this, oh sorry, this is mate. So your king must come up, and the moment he comes up, you give a check with the knight, and this is still checkmate. So white in this position played bishop to g5. So hoping that according to Hikaru there will be a swap and life is good. But in this position there's this check, and white must block with his pawn, you get, and he blocks with the f pawn, and you can capture the d5 pawn and threaten mate. Yes, white can stop the mate, but at what cost, fellows? You are sure winning this game. And this is going to be the last sample, and I chose a semi-complicated sample to be the last. And if you have not already given me a like and a subscribe, please do that. It really motivates me. And in this position, black left knight and white to capture his rook with his knight, not giving white a free rook, because after he captures, black will capture with a check, and the king can go and attack it. Now you might be saying, if you capture the white knight with your pawn, you capture your black knight with his king. But you take note that the moment you capture it with the moment you capture white knight with your pawn, you attack white bishop, and if white paraventure enters into this line, then he's actually dead loss, as no matter what he does, you must make a queen. So this line is not advisable. So you play this and you save your knight, and now the king will try to enter the position, which obviously you cut him off, and when this is done, you are winning. Please like, share and subscribe. See you soon.